Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
A fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus facing walking the streets of Winnipeg unsupervised. The decision is causing concern. Vincent is schizophrenic and found not criminally responsible.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
What are you, Richard?
I am a demonic vampire.
Demonic specifically.
I don't know. Molly put an upside down cross on my forehead, so I figure there's demons there somewhere.
That's pretty metal.
It's pretty metal.
Are there Christian vampires? If there's demonic vampires, then there must be.
Angelic vampires, I think, would be the preferred term.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Are there the non-denominational vampires?
I dug into the costume box today and Molly dressed me up. So whatever it is,
Nice.
it's scary. It's freaking me out a little bit.
You look disturbing.
You know? It looks a little crazier. Like in person, it looks less crazy, but on this camera, I look scary. I look feel satanic.
So you feel right at home then?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm more comfortable than I've ever been. I'm coming this way every time.
Yeah, I'm at least wearing the cape. I don't know why guys got rid of that. This is a fantastic thing.
Right? Capes and hats. They need to make a comeback.
Yeah, capes haven't made a comeback in like 200 years. They're due, you know?
I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff for capes to get caught on, though. I'm going to go ahead and take the Incredibles route here and just kind of volunteer that there's a lot of safety risks to capes. Now, hats like bolo hats, traditional hats, I love the idea of a good like busboy cap coming back. But other than that, yeah, capes are just, like I said, a safety risk. I mean, I literally have a Roomba in my house and I've probably fucked up on that thing with socks too many times. So cape, no go.
Well, I'm not a superhero. I just want to walk out of stores by covering my face going, thank you very much.
That's why Jack the Ripper never got caught, because he could cover his face.
With these
Off he goes into the night. That's why no one knows who he is.
Well, we all cover our faces now, no matter what. So there's going to be like a weird, I'm interested in like 5 years with all the masks and shit, like how many extra weird crimes people get away with.
That's solid coverage, though. I mean, you've got your fancy ass top hats, you've got your mutton chops here, and then you've got your cape over your face here. I mean, you got nothing to go on.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
It's literally like a burqa.
It's like, yeah.
You just
without the arranged marriage. Good.
yeah.
Oh, good. We're starting in on the
Or the intense crippling oppression.
Not all the time. I shouldn't say that.
yeah, not all the
No,
not
not all-
always.
Not all the
It's-
time.
It's vampire Richard talking. It's not Richard.
This makeup makes me mean.
Happy Halloween, Unethical members,
Happy Halloween.
Yay.
Happy Halloween.
and welcome back to Cole Blenner, a fan favorite.
Welcome back, Cole. You guys will be proud because you know that Australians we generally don't do Halloween because it's not
Lame.
a thing down. I know. But Gabe is getting very into it. So we are taking him trick-or-treating.
Good.
That's awesome.
Okay.
It's gonna be hilarious when you're knocking on doors and everyone's like, what are you? Well, here's a fucking papaya, I guess, because I didn't get candy.
Yeah.
You know?
So Halloween is, little fun around here. A lot of fireworks.
They have
Really?
fireworks on Halloween? For real.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, it depends. Obviously, as long as it's not blizzarding. Oh, yeah. People will light off all their leftover 4th of July fireworks on Halloween.
Okay.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Yeah, a couple years ago in North Dakota, which is just a state over, the artillery shells and like big ones are legal. You can like shoot up in the
Yep.
air. And some kid like thought he got a dud. So he like put his face over it and blew his head off.
Sure.
Oh wow.
That is the best way to check.
You should actually bite it.
We're gonna need another Timmy.
It works.
Well, what is it? God, last 4th of July. Yeah, there was actually a fire out at Angostura. It's a little lake 60 miles south of here. And there was actually a fire because some kids were shooting off artillery shells in the wind. And one, the wind caught it when it just got out of the chamber and, boom, shot it right into the field next to him and started
Oh
a
my
big ass
gosh.
grass fire.
Good. Just a grass fire though. Good. It wasn't like a forest fire.
Good.
That's good. Well, it's better than
Good. Just grass.
You know, South Dakotans are like, well, at least it'll grow back better next year.
These were not the kind of Halloween horror stories I was expecting.
Oh.
Yeah, you still have your face. Come on.
Yeah, what's a Halloween with a face?
Yeah. Yeah, it's speaking to Tally, who's cousin it right now, so she has no face.
Did people just like walk past the dude's body and be like, wow, he really committed to that costume? It's a really
There you
good
go.
costume, buddy.
Oh my God, that is the best idea for a costume. I am literally going to be a dead person so I can just lay there and sleep.
I do that every year. I sit on my deck and I'm a dead person and kids think I'm a decoration and I fucking scare the shit out of them.
Yes.
They come knock
I
at the door.
love that.
Oh yeah, terror in children's eyes. Nothing better.
It feeds your soul, doesn't it? Feeds your soul. Yeah.
You came to the wrong house, motherfucker.
Like Monsters Inc., how they run their city off of kids' screams.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The powered by screams.
Yeah, powered by fear.
Yeah. Anybody ever thought that was really fucked up? Like they were just like, well, we could go with maybe coal power. We could go with, hydropower. But Jerry over here actually found a way to harness children's screams. And so we're going to go with that one.
Way better for the environment. All right. Can we
Yeah.
please recognize?
Renewable as shit. That's easy.
Gives people jobs.
Yeah. Monsters. What else are monsters going to do, Cole? I thought that was very ingenious of them, actually, because like now they're being productive members of society. Before they were just making kids shit their pants and leaving. Now they're making kids shit their pants and powering their microwave. It's a win-win for everyone.
But they also changed the game at the end and found out that laughter was much more powerful. So there's that.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like before that, though, no one questioned this.
No, I know.
Like not a single person was like, we're going to go scare children.
Yeah. But I mean, what if someone told you that like breathing was bad for like elk or something, and then you didn't know that until before? You know what I mean? Like now you know that breathing's better. Like I didn't think of it because I was just breathing, because it's human. It's second nature to monsters to scare people. So they weren't thinking they were doing anything bad to begin with. They're just doing what they're due. You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, being a human being, we are naturally a negative on the environment. So breathing, I am bad for elk. So
See? Fuck. Now I can't breathe. God, I love elk.
Yeah.
I loved breathing. It's my favorite part of my day.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna die.
I should be speaking from the position of this is fucked up because, it takes one to know one here. So I'm just saying, like, twist that one around there.
No, you just made it real. I was using something benign.
Okay.
What does that sound?
Cousin it.
There's so much hair in my mouth.
What's your favorite scary movie, Christy?
No.
No? Okay. I'm not asking that question at all. Why would I?
Yeah, what are we talking about today, guys? What are we talking about today?
Killing
Oh, Hallows Eve.
Sam. What is it? Sam Hain?
Yes,
Sam Hain? Yeah.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Huge bush.
The legends make him out to be a pretty decent dude. Beside the whole like children having to hide their faces. It seems like a pretty all right guy. I don't know. I'd have a beer with him just to see what's up.
You know what happens when children hide their faces? They go somewhere else and are quiet. Then you can have some peace. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, he's doing a public service.
Sam Hain is the ultimate babysitter.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to babysit 700 kids on one night. What are you going to do? Put on a bunch of masks and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your candy. Eat until you puke.
Yeah, and so I stress once again, Halloween is the best and Australia is fucked up.
We're catching up. We're catching
We're
up.
catching
And I'm
Catching up.
Are you guys into vampires?
Are you propositioning us?
Yeah. What do you guys think about vampires, huh?
No, not Cullen vampires.
Not colored vampires? Did you just
Cullen.
you said
Oh,
not
Jesus.
colored vampires? I was like, so Blackula's off the table. Cool.
No, like Edward and
This is why you guys can't have Halloween, because you say such horrible things.
Jesus. There's rules to this shit, all right?
No, we were talking about Twilight, and Twilight vampires are not real vampires.
I gotcha.
They are a very poor imitation.
They're all made up. So
Vampires are real. Shush.
there was a serial killer that like with Sacramento vampire. He was a pretty scary guy.
What's his face? Albert Fish was the something or other vampire too.
If you're crazy, I guess.
It's almost as if the real monsters were us all along.
Dun, dun, dun.
We got to the moral of the story real early this episode.
And scene.
Today, we're going to celebrate Halloween by paying tribute to the 90s.
Yeah.
I love the 90s.
Love it.
I spent 10 years in the 90s.
Good old fashioned 90s nostalgia. I spent 7 years there.
Spent 9.
No, Richard and I spent the whole of the 90s.
Full decade of 90s, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you guys will remember Furbies,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Bill Gates saving Apple from bankruptcy,
Sure, if that's you want to look at, yeah.
supersizing your meals at McDonald's,
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah.
and of course, let's not forget the Macarena.
Hey, macaroni. Did I do it
I'm pretty
right?
sure that song is about a two-timing lady.
Aren't most songs about two-timing ladies?
All the
Most
country songs
I
are.
think. Yeah.
Well, among the top influences on pop culture in the 90s was the unprecedented surge of teen slasher flicks, including I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend,
Mhm.
Idle Hands, and the holy grail, Scream.
Yes.
Idle Hands is definitely one of my go-tos.
Love Scream. Idle Hands is amazing too. But I do love Scream. If this is if this is Scream related, I'm happy about this because I love Scream. Scream 5 very soon, February.
Well, perhaps the listener, like Richard, perhaps doesn't know that the surge in teen slasher flicks was actually inspired by the very true story of a co-ed killer in a college town, the Gainesville Ripper.
Gainesville. What state is that?
That is where the University of Florida is.
Surprise. Who else but Florida?
Surprise, surprise.
Florida man.
There's an alligator and meth in this, I'm sure of
Well, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Before we get into the story, let's play Get to Know Your Host a little bit. It's a special
Okay.
occasion. What's your favorite horror movie?
it. This is hard. There's so many good ones. I really do. I like Freddy. Freddy 3 is probably the best one. Like Freddy Krueger is my favorite slasher guy because he's hilarious. All the slasher shit's my favorite, all of them. So Freddy 3 if I had to pick.
How about you, Christy?
I'm very into the 80s B grade slashers and horror movies like Scanners,
Scatter's so good.
Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, the very first one. Oh, and is The Shining a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a thriller, but yeah, thriller horror, yeah.
It has supernatural factors to it, so it's horror. I give it horror.
What about you, Tally?
I like sci-fi horror, so Cloverfield for sure is like number one. And then like The Ring.
Oh yeah, Ringu. You ever watch like the original Ringu?
I think so, but like The Grudge and stuff too, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Those movies freak me out real bad.
Like you worked at a movie rental place too, right?
And a movie theater at the same time.
Yeah, so you probably had all that old shit on the background all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What about you, Cole?
Honestly, Freddy versus Jason. Like we have an entire segment on Beers and Bull called Death Monster Death Match, and it's specifically like heavyweight showdowns between like monsters and shit like that. And it's 100% inspired by Freddy versus Jason. I used to own the DVD, and it sat probably in my room playing like months and months and months at a time. So Freddy versus Jason, hands down. You got to remember I'm young. So I was like 7, 8 years old when that movie came out, and I finally got to like sneak it behind my parents' back, and favorite horror movie. It's what started the addiction. So yeah, hands down, Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, Freddy versus Jason's amazing. It's
Yeah.
exactly what you want in that kind of movie. It's amazing. And they got to kill the chick from Destiny's Child. Fuck yeah. Get rid of
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah, I always forget that Kelly Rowland was in that movie as like the best friend, and you're always like, oh, she's totally gonna die. If it was Beyonce would have lived.
Yeah. Bay would have lived.
What about you, Celeste?
My favorite slasher, for sure, monster or whatever, like Chucky, 100%. I fucking love the Chucky movies.
Yeah, don't fuck with the Chuck.
Bride of Chucky in particular, because Jennifer Tilly is phenomenal.
Yeah, her and Brad Dourif. Come on.
Yes, I love Brad Dourif.
Me
Like,
too, I
oh,
fucking
One Flew
love-
Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Lord of the Rings. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Deadwood. Ho.
Yeah, dude.
Doctor in that. He's fucking awesome in that.
But overall best horror movie, and you know what? I know this is gonna sound super weird, but Gothica.
Mhm.
Is that the one with Halle Berry?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
I love that one. It was the first movie I ever saw that had that jerk CGI, that jerky CGI where they walk but they move backwards at the same. It's the first time I ever saw it. Freaked the shit out of me.
I don't remember that one. I just remember Halle Berry. That was around the time she showed her tits on movies, and everyone was like watching Halle Berry. Is she gonna throw those bangers out again? Are those
Sure.
bangers coming out again?
Oh god.
Isn't she in like this movie right now where she's an ex MMA fighter or something, where she's training and she's wrote and directed it? I'm like, how can you write that being Halle Berry? It makes no sense.
The last thing I saw her in was The Call. Did you guys watch that movie?
Oh yeah, I did watch that. Was that like the 911 operator where the she's
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really solid movie right up until the end. And she goes fucking vigilante in a bra. And you're like, hey, this kid just got really stupid really fucking fast.
I go vigilante in a bra all the time.
I'm sure you do, Richard.
Let's talk about the Gainesville Ripper.
Let's do it.
So, the 1990 school year was scheduled to begin on August 27th at the University of Florida. Students were flooding onto the campus every day, excited to see their friends, party, and get that sweet, sweet education.
Oh, you're gonna say candy.
This is better than candy. This is a future.
Knowledge is power.
Actually, you know what? At the time in 1990, this actually was a future. Now it's not, but you know.
What isn't any time a future at some point? Anyways, let's go.
Okay, well, it was a sweet, sweet education at the time. It's a very bitter, bitter education these days. But
There you go.
so two of those students were Christine Powell and would you fucking stop?
That's a weird name.
That is a weird name.
Foreign exchange student from Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it sounds like she's from Yugoslavia or something. Could you?
All right. Could you fucking stop doesn't come up again in this conversation, but she graduated magna cum laude and had a great life, CEO of Google now or something like that. You can look it up on Bing it.
Bunch of listeners binging that. Like, could you fuck off?
We better go make a Wikipedia
They
page.
got me.
All right. Well, Christine Powell and Sonia Larson. Okay.
That's nowhere near as exciting as
Yeah, could you fuck off? Sounds a lot more interesting, really.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even brought her up. But so these two girls, Christine Powell and Sonia Larson, met over summer school and they decided to move in together for the following school year. So the two spent August 24th moving into their new apartment together. And that evening, Christine called her parents from a nearby payphone, because this was the 90s, and let them know that she was all moved in and looking forward to their visit a couple of days later. So the following day, Christine's parents expected to hear from her once she got her landline set up, but the call never came. But her parents weren't worried. They knew that she was probably just out exploring Gainesville with her new friend, maybe picking up some books for Monday.
Doesn't that sound like a great existence where you're not like people, you can be away from a phone for 5 minutes and people don't think you're dead? Oh my
Mhm.
God. What a time that we
Yeah.
all lived in back then. You could not get a call from someone and be like, my parents now, if I say I'm going to be somewhere and if I'm 10 minutes late, where are you? Like, I will be there. I'm going to be there soon.
Yeah, but we're so used to phones that we're too anxious to actually go and check on them because we don't knock on people's doors anymore. You just don't do that. So you just
Yeah, I
kind of
guess.
sit there petrified on Facebook.
Yeah.
true.
Okay, so the following day, Christine's parents arrived for their visit and they found her front door had notes posted on it from friends who had come by to see the girls and hadn't found them at home.
Post-its?
Yeah, no text or anything,
Post-its.
just leaving a post-it on someone's door.
Yeah, that's it. It's,
I love it.
you don't have to be accountable to your destination all time. I love it. I think it's so much we should go back to that for like a week. We should have a week of the year every year where people just put down their phones. That's all I
They
ask.
say that a solar storm is going to knock out the internet sometime in the next couple of years and leave people without it for a little while. So maybe we'll get there.
I'm seriously
Yeah.
considering going back to a flip phone. Smartphones, just people can contact you in so many ways, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you would have to have my phone number to contact me.
We'd never be able to contact you because we don't know your phone number.
Well, I mean, I'd give it. I did that.
So her parents are there. They see these notes. There's quite a few of them. They're concerned, but they're keeping their cool. All right. They're knocking on the door. They're hoping that they'd get an answer, but unfortunately, they did not get an answer. So her parents go outside and they found an apartment maintenance man, and the man couldn't let them into the apartment. So he goes and he collects the building manager, and the building manager phones the police and tells them that they need a welfare check. So an officer comes out. Christine's parents waited outside while the officer, the maintenance man, and the building manager entered the girls' suite. A few minutes later, the maintenance man comes sprinting out the front door of the apartment and throws up on the ground next to Christine's parents.
Mm.
And so there was no keeping them back after this. Christine's parents charge the apartment, fight their way past the officer and the manager, and they find Christine on the floor in front of the couch, naked, spread out in a very graphic pose, and covered in stab wounds.
Oof.
Yikes. Probably could use that cell phone now, though.
Yeah, idiots from the past. If only you had a cell phone.
Yes.
Rookie move.
Or at least a BlackBerry. Jesus.
Oh, that's a throwback. The LG with the flip out keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
So good.
that was my jam.
What a fucking terrifying way to find your child.
Oh,
my
I know.
God.
Yeah, that sounds like it literally could not be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no,
Ugh.
never finding her would be worse.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, they probably should have not let the parents run up there, though. Like, people should have stopped them. That guy puking, like,
never
There was only 2 other people there and they couldn't stop them.
yeah.
They were getting in there.
get that. Never get that vision out of your mind. It would just always be there. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And what kind of a maintenance man pukes over a dead body? I'm sorry. You should be seeing some shit.
What is this, your first day?
Yeah.
Just flash over to the maintenance guy, and that was my last day as a maintenance man for Parkview Apartments.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm done with it now.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed he went and puked beside the parents. Like, have some, like, they're gonna go run up now, you know?
Actions speak louder than words, Richard.
That's true. And I know.
What's he gonna do? Puke in the hall? He has to clean it up if he pukes there.
That's true.
That's
There's already a
At least
mess
this
in
way
there.
you can just hose it down.
Oh god. That was really mean. This is sad. I forgot.
So Christine's parents are escorted off the scene. The officer calls for backup and has them removed from the scene. And he goes upstairs and he finds Sonia on her bed in the same fashion as Christine. So police would discover that Christine was sexually assaulted, but Sonia wasn't. And that Christine had been bound with duct tape, but the killer had taken the duct tape when he left. And they also found that Christine's body and several surfaces in the house had been cleaned with a rag from the kitchen soaked in soapy water. So police decided to make an announcement to the local media to protect the young people who were coming into town to start the university year. People were encouraged to keep their doors locked and stay vigilant about their surroundings. And the local response was, let's say, disproportionate to the announcement. Generally, it could have been a jealous boyfriend, but people went balls to the wall protecting themselves. They got guns. They got new locks on every door, every window. They were sleeping in groups. Parents were demanding their children come home from university. But as it turned out, the following day, there was another student murdered in her home. And so the police never stated the 2 murders were connected, but the people just assumed because both scenes involved young women and both of the homes were so close together that they had to be connected.
It's the first thing I would assume.
Mhm.
You know, better safe than sorry. Get a gun. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I don't know about get a
Move.
gun, but I mean, do something, right? You lock the doors
Yeah.
and be scared. You should. Fear is good. That's what I would do. I'd be terrified.
In a really small college town like this, I would be in favor of having a gun. I think it is, your odds are like so much higher within this small college town, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like, you know, if this was fucking like BTK, right? And it's like the entire city, I'm kind of like, okay, settle down. You know, he's just one guy. But
Yeah.
One stupid guy.
One big
yeah,
loser.
one fucking doorknob.
Yeah.
So the third
Okay.
victim was Krista Hoyt, who lived just 2 miles away. So this was the second murder, third victim. Krista worked part-time at the sheriff's office while getting her degree in law enforcement. And so when she didn't show up for work on August 27th, the sheriff's office sent police to do a welfare check. Police didn't get a response when they knocked on the door and the curtains were all closed, but one of the officers saw that the bottom of the sliding glass door, the curtains were a couple of inches off the floor. And so he laid down on the deck and he peeked in through the bottom and he managed to get a look ahead. Christine's head, that is, sitting on a shelf beside the bed.
Ew.
Celeste made a head pun.
Was a good one.
It was a good one for sure. Wrong guy, wrong person to kill there, Gainesville Ripper. That's a cop, basically. Like, now they're on you.
Oh, yeah.
This is why serial killers kill like the half dead or whatever they call it, because no one gives a shit. This person is given
Oh,
a shit
dead.
about, or what do they call like sex workers,
Prostitutes
stuff.
and homeless people.
No
and
human involved.
the outcasts of society.
Yeah, not these girls.
Yeah.
So they also see that Krista's body, I'm pretty sure I said Christine's head. Krista's head. Anyway, so Krista's body was slumped in a sitting position on the bed with stab wounds all over her back. And police would find that Krista was also bound with duct tape that had been removed from the scene, and she was also sexually assaulted. The police also found that both scenes had similar marks on the door that indicated some kind of small tool was used to pop the door open. So Krista wouldn't be the last victim. The following day, police found Tracy Paulez and Manfred Manny Taboda. I think it's Taboda. Manny Taboda.
Cup of water sounds heaps cooler.
So it's 5 victims in 4 days.
3 days.
Damn.
Mhm.
This guy's on a roll.
That's
He
a
is indeed.
rampage. This is like unraveling. I'm surprised. Okay, I have questions for more questions for later about this.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's not a spree killer. He's not like reacting to anything. It's
Are
interesting.
these his first kills? Like, are these his first ever? Because this is very crazy for a serial killer to like start on such a fast pace. Usually it's like cool down, kill, cool down period, kill, cool down period. And then they start to kill, shorter cooldown period, shorter, and then they just get caught because that's what they typically the route this goes, right?
Yeah, no, this guy was definitely unique.
That was his first kill. Eh? That's crazy. But
No, I didn't say that,
oh, okay, sorry.
but he's unique for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So Tracy Paulez had been talking to a friend of hers in another town earlier in the day about the murders in Gainesville. Tracy had assured her friend that she would be okay because she had a male roommate.
Oh.
Her friend was still worried and asked Tracy to call her as soon as she was home for the night, but Tracy didn't call. The next day, Tracy's friend called a mutual friend who lived nearby and asked him to go and check on Tracy at her apartment. So a little while later, Tracy's friend receives a call from Tracy's home, her home phone, which should have been good news, but that relief was short-lived when their mutual friend was on the other line, completely hysterical.
Oh no.
do you want to watch a movie?
What's your favorite scary movie?
That's what it was. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your favorite scary movie? Or what's up? If you watch a scary movie.
What you doing? Not much, just chilling,
Yeah.
killing. I love the scary movies. I love the scary movies.
So funny.
Anna Faris is so good at being a dumbass.
Oh, amazing. Best dumbass actor.
Man, that might be a title I'm going for.
Anyway, so Tracy was found in her bed, nude, posed, and stabbed. Down the hall, her security, Manny, was also dead, stabbed to death, but seemingly undisturbed after he died. So with these murders, these new murders, students began leaving the university in droves, okay, which is very bad for the town of Gainesville. Within a certain amount of the beginning of the school year, you can get your tuition back. So this is not good financially. So the police are working feverishly on the tip lines to make an arrest, and it would not take them long. 24 hours after the murder of Tracy and Manny, they arrested 20-year-old University of Florida student Ed Humphrey. Ed was reported to the tip line several times as a potential suspect. People reported that he was unstable, he walked around with a knife, and he would frequently walk the forested areas of Gainesville at night. Ed also had a recent history of severe mental issues that were largely untreated. So Ed was once a boyishly handsome man, but he now had deep disfiguring scars all over his face from 2 car accidents, which his friends believe were suicide attempts.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really interesting. Were the suicide attempts prior to like the snap? I guess so. I guess. Anyways, I'm just wondering if like his facial scarring is part of this, because that is an interesting trauma.
Because women
to
would
have.
reject him and it would make him lash out at them.
Yeah, for sure. And feeling like no one would ever love you because you're gross. And that's what you just feel, right? Whether it's true or not. But
Yeah.
Well, police were able to arrest him for domestic abuse for allegedly beating his grandmother during a fight. There are mixed reports on this. It seems to be greatly exaggerated, but doesn't matter. They were able to arrest him on it anyway. And they managed to keep him in jail on suspicion of his involvement based on one pubic hair at the scene that looked similar to his.
What do they do?
Looks similar.
Make him go pantsless and be like, "Oh, it's a match."
No, they take like 3 or 4 pubic hairs when they process anybody for DNA.
Yeah.
I just give them out to people.
Yeah.
We know. Yeah, watch your mailbox there, Cole.
Cole looked up and Cole still doesn't know what he got. So
I have no idea yet. I'm just expecting
So
to be
exciting.
like Brad Pitt in Seven. Just what's in the box? What's in the box? There's blood everywhere.
I'm never speaking to you guys again.
there's a video that goes along with it. So when you open it, let me know because I'll send you the link.
Don't use your home computer.
I do and I don't like surprises. Like, just I like surprises in general, but also having anxiety. I fucking hate surprises. So it's like life's a game. You got to risk it for the biscuit, I guess. So here we go.
Mhm.
All right. So Ed Humphrey did remain in jail even after police confirmed that his blood type didn't match the DNA at the scene. But he'd already been blasted and people were certain that he was involved. And so the police refused to let him go.
The pube looked the same, so you can't blame them.
As it would turn out, he was not involved at all.
Oh,
He's just an innocent guy whose life they ruined.
Oh, damn.
good.
So they chose like the stereotypical guy.
Yeah, all because
oh,
his
Ed.
pubic hair matched the swatches.
Because he was reported to the tip line mostly so many times. They were eager to make an arrest. They would have taken anybody. Everybody's pubes look exactly the same, okay?
No, I know.
Yeah.
And probably because his face was disfigured, they went like he's a monster, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sure, monster
Aw.
bias.
Classic social outcast, like type of thing. Like, oh, it must be the old crazy man who talks to nobody, who lives on the edge of town and got in a hacksaw accident or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why nobody suspected fucking Billy in Scream, because he's beautiful.
Or Ted Bundy. I mean, real life example.
Well, I wasn't alive then, but pretty sure I wouldn't have found that too hard to believe.
Well, like once you get him in an interview or anything, but like just everyday life, I don't know. I feel like back then they were much more preferential towards, oh, he's beautiful. He couldn't possibly do this. He looks normal. Nowadays we kind of know about that because of, well, Ted Bundy.
I didn't know
Wow.
Cole was
Yeah.
thirsty for Daddy Bundy. That's interesting.
Okay, it's more the Zac Efron thing. Like I'm not gay,
okay.
but Zac Efron. You know what I mean? So like
Okay.
Zac Efron plays him.
Yeah.
A little high school horror story, you know, after High School Musical. So
Mm.
Oh, Zac Efron in Neighbours. Oh my god.
yeah, I stand Zac Efron hardcore, 100%. Not even ashamed of it. Not ashamed of it at all.
I like pre-obscene muscles, Zac Efron. Charlie St. Cloud. That's my peak Zac Efron.
Underrated movie.
Oh.
Underrated movie.
Amazing.
I like that
amazing
movie.
film.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Do we know what happened to him? I'm sad for Ed.
Yeah, I want to know about Ed.
Maybe.
Oh, that's foreshadowing.
So, with the lack of success with Ed, a member of the FBI urged a local detective to use the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, or VICAP, to submit the crime patterns of the Gainesville Ripper and look for crimes with a similar MO. And they got a hit on a triple homicide in Shreveport, Louisiana.
That's where True Blood vampires are from.
Good fucking God. I was happier when I did not know that.
Sorry.
I thought you
I love
didn't
True
like
Blood.
vampires of a certain persuasion down in Australia.
Of a certain persuasion.
Yeah, there's a lot of colorful vampires in the Shreveport area. I have not watched True Blood, but I have seen enough of it in passing and dated enough of vamp girls to know about that. So
I love that you've
love
dated vamp girls. That's my
hands
favorite
down,
part.
yeah. Goth chicks were my kryptonite forever.
Yum.
So yeah.
It's always the fucking wholesome round face guys that fucking like the goth chicks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm like, wait, you didn't know your dad and you like know how to summon demons? All right, so where are we going on our first date again?
Fucking Mr. Rogers and Vampira.
Yeah.
Cole comes home and he's got like black shit smeared all over his face from where they.
Yeah, it's just a Tuesday night. Listen, don't ask questions, all right? Don't ask questions.
All right. So 8-year-old Sean Grissom was spending the weekend with his aunt, Julie Grissom, and his grandfather, Tom Grissom. Sean's mother didn't hear from her father, sister, or son over the weekend, but she was expecting her boy back on Monday and she didn't want to overreact. So Monday morning came and went, and Tom never arrived with Sean. Sean's mother called the school, and when she learned that Sean hadn't been dropped off there either, she called the police, who then asked Tom's neighbor to go and check in on the home. The neighbor agreed and mentioned to the police that he noticed that the cars hadn't moved from the last week and that Tom hadn't collected his newspapers, but there were lights on inside. So the neighbors entered the home through the garage, where they found Tom deceased at the back of the home. And the neighbors didn't stick around to check the rest of the house. They hauled ass out of there and called the police. When police arrived, they found Sean and Julie were also dead. And like the student victims, Julie was sexually assaulted and posed nude, and attempts had been made to clean her body, but with vinegar.
Oh.
Damn.
So police immediately connected these two cases for the purpose of their investigation, and they soon found that both of the blood types of the perpetrators matched.
You said this is 90s, like early 90s? Like, is this before
1990.
DNA was 1990? So DNA was just in baby form. So they're still doing.
Yeah, they're doing, we can use it to rule you out, not rule you in kind of DNA.
I gotcha. Okay.
So by the next day, someone had leaked the information of this matching case in Louisiana to the media, and it became a main news story for the next few days. Fortunately, though the police were fucking pissed, let me be clear, this leak was actually very beneficial. A woman called the police to report that when she was living in Shreveport, she knew a man who was unstable and had once told her that he just really liked the idea of stabbing people.
Oh.
So she said when this man left Shreveport, he told her he was going to go somewhere where there are beautiful young women to look at everywhere.
Florida.
Yet another fucking murderer talking about murdering. Shut the fuck up.
They don't, okay? They don't. These are the rules, okay? It's never a mannequin, and they will not shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, never. Like, yeah, they murderers love talking.
Jesus Christ.
Like, okay, I'm gonna be a little crass, but I mean, since when am I not? This is the only way these guys get hard, you know. So talking about it's gonna give them a hard on, doing all this stuff's gonna give them. It's the only way they get hard, and a lot of life is motivated by how hard your penis is for dudes. So
Sure.
I mean, he's not wrong.
no, it's just
I mean, he's not wrong there. I mean, speaking as probably the youngest person in the group and the youngest male in the group, yeah, the second brain has a good amount of pull.
yeah. Good pull.
Yeah.
Second brain. I think it's the first one, honey.
Hey, listen,
I
I
think
am
it's-
over
it's
25
definitely-
years old. I can now
Yeah.
comfortably call him the second brain. But yeah, there was a couple of years it got dicey. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Okay, so this man who fantasized about some stabbing and wanted to look at the beautiful young women in Florida, that man was Danny Rollins.
Danny.
Yes. Danny's family were reportedly extremely abusive and would openly tell him that they couldn't stand him. A few weeks after the Grissom family murders, Danny's father had apparently pointed a gun at him and told him to leave the house and not come back. So it wasn't related to what Danny had done. No one knew that he was involved. His father was just sick of having him around since he had been discharged from the military. So Danny left, but he returned shortly after with a gun of his own and shot his father in the head and stomach.
As you do.
Sure, seems like a very reasonable reaction.
Carry on.
This is Louisiana.
Oh, his dad survived.
His dad did survive. Yeah, he survived a fucking bullet to the head.
That is an
Wow.
awkward Thanksgiving there.
Yeah.
Hateful people, they're fucking made of steel. I swear to God. You can't kill them. So his father survived and an arrest warrant was issued for attempted homicide, but Danny was long gone on his way to Gainesville, Florida. Unbeknownst to the police, the day after the murder of Tracy and Manny, Danny had robbed a bank. And the robbery was unsolved, but one of the officers recalled the robbery happened not too far from the crime scenes. So a lone gunman had robbed a bank in broad daylight and made off with a bag of money filled with dye packs. Police later found a campsite in the woods, and the campsite had money and dye left behind. Also at the campsite, they found a screwdriver, a gun, and an audio recorder. So at the time, they didn't connect the robbery to the murders, and they were too busy with the murder investigation to process any of the evidence, which meant that no one had listened to the audio recordings.
Oh my
So
God.
stupid. Like that'd be the first thing I do. What is he saying?
Yeah.
Like, I will be at this location tomorrow, and the location after. Like, fuck, we should have looked at this right away. Like, you never know. You can say anything. Fucking stupid.
I don't know, man. It's not priority because it's a robbery, I guess. I don't know.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I guess they weren't connecting him as the fucking killer yet.
Yeah,
so
they just thought he was an armed robber. But
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
I mean, it seems like I feel like I'd just be curious. I'd listen to it right fucking there.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Anyway, so police
Absolutely.
rush to pull the items out of evidence, and in the recordings, this robber sings an original song about being a mysterious killer, stabbing animals through the ribs, and straight up identifying himself. My name is Danny Rollins. By name.
Oops.
So this guy is literally just like the fucking stupidest man.
I can see where the tropes are starting to come in though. Like he's very crazy cocky. You know what I mean? Like he
Mm.
doesn't know kind of what's going on, but he kind of does. And he's just stupid confident about it. Like he's just openly talking about killing people. He's singing about it while he's in prison. He's just having a good fucking time out here, just being an absolute maniac.
Yeah, living in the woods in his tent, singing about killing people.
Yeah, like literally like 90s tropes, like embodied.
As you do.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In true psychopath fashion.
Yeah.
No surprise. All right. It checks all the boxes. There we go.
Yeah, he is kind of a walking trope. Honestly, easy pickings. I'm a little bit disappointed in, I believe his name's Kevin Williamson that wrote Scream. I'm a little bit disappointed.
Is he a walking trope though? If he created the trope, that's the question. Like,
Oh, yeah. Well, chicken or the egg, right? Pick one. Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Philosophy question.
Doesn't matter. Whoever came first, the other's unsatisfied.
Oh, true story.
Okay, so the police worked quickly to match the screwdriver to markings on the doors at the crime scenes, and they went into Danny Rollins' military record and confirmed that his blood type matched that of the perpetrators. Police were then able to arrest Danny, but they didn't need to. He was already in custody for a botched armed robbery. So Danny was charged with the 5 student murders. So nothing in Shreveport, only the student murders in Florida. Originally, he denied any involvement, but while awaiting trial 4 years after the murders in 1994, Rollins changed his plea to guilty and stated that he wants to be a superstar like Ted Bundy. And that is a quote.
Cool.
He's the only one who labeled Ted Bundy a superstar.
I guess so. And in true Daddy Bundy fashion, proceeded to spill his guts.
Cool.
According to Danny Rollins, the night of the first murder, he had been demeaned, the first murder in Shreveport. He had been demeaned at his job as a waiter, and he reacted by walking around the neighborhood and trying doorknobs until he found one that was unlocked. Inside, he found 8-year-old Sean, stabbed him, and Sean died literally immediately because he's so itty-bitty. He then headed to the back of the home where he found Tom grilling, and he attacked him there. Danny was hurt in this altercation, but not badly, and Tom was stabbed to death. Danny then went upstairs and found Julie, who apparently hadn't heard any of this commotion downstairs. He threatened her with the knife and told her he just killed her family, and she agreed to do what he wanted. So she was bound with the duct tape, sexually assaulted, and then killed. Before he left, he decided that he wanted to demean her, and he posed her body in this graphically suggestive pose for when it was found. But to do this, he needed to remove the duct tape around her wrists to place her arms above her head. While he was doing that, he just happened to put the duct tape in his pocket and he left. So this wasn't even something he did on purpose to hide evidence. He just did it by accident.
Oh.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Apparently they were. The second killings, he said, were prompted by simply an urge. So nobody had pissed him off that day. He was just sitting in his tent in the woods when suddenly he was like, I'd really just like to go kill some people. And he remembered that earlier in the day, he had seen 2 young women moving into an apartment building and he wanted to go find them. So he went to their apartment, popped the door with a screwdriver, and inside he found Christine sleeping on the couch. He stopped to study Christine, but didn't wake her because he wanted to find out where the other girl was. Upstairs, he found Sonia asleep in her bed. And upon studying Sonia, he decided that he wanted to sexually assault Christine and just kill Sonia. Which is like, honestly, that's a little.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring sexual assault to class, you got to bring enough for the whole class.
Jesus.
Ouch.
Bring enough to go around, please. Yeah, equality. Thank you.
How offensive.
Yeah, but I mean, I find that weird that he looks at the one girl and goes, meh, and then goes back to the other one.
Yeah.
It's not a TV channel, you dickhead.
That's literally what he did. He was like, yeah, I like the other one better.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
I like blondes.
is one of my like biggest fears, someone just breaking into your house at night and like fucking with you. Like, Matt, how scary is that?
Yeah, home invasions, man. Home invasions are like terrifying. Okay, so he said, this is according to him, he took a strip of duct tape and in one swift motion, he put one hand with the duct tape over Sonia's mouth and plunged the knife into her chest with the other hand.
Real swift ninja. He's trying to sound like.
It sounds like he's trying to like brag about how like fucking slick he is. Just weird. Also, duct tape's loud as fuck. You're telling me that didn't wake her up? Bull fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few holes in this story.
Well,
You mean besides the stab wounds?
there we go.
Hey.
Okay, so he went back downstairs after killing Sonia and found Christine hadn't been woken up by the struggle upstairs. I don't know what it is about the 90s, but people sleep through fucking everything.
Insomnia didn't exist in the 90s.
Apparently not.
Yeah, they just slept with their keys in their car and their doors unlocked and their windows open and their back facing the door. And yeah, no, not the case. Not the case anymore.
Yeah,
It's a
wild.
college. It's a college place too. Maybe they're just hammered. Maybe it was just
True.
a drinking night.
It's true.
Well, they spent all day moving, and none of the reports said that they had been drinking. So
Okay.
maybe, I don't know. It's just insane. That other
Yeah.
chick didn't hear anything either, and she didn't hear this, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so he goes downstairs. She's still asleep. He wakes her up quite gently, he says. And he shows her the bloody knife and he says, I just killed your roommate. I'm going to kill you too if you don't do what I say. So she lets him bind her. He sexually assaults her and then he kills her anyway. After sexually assaulting Christine, he washed her body with the rag from the kitchen, posed her, and he removed the duct tape again to put her in this pose, put it in his pocket and left.
Did he say why he posed the girls? Like, what is his like?
He just wanted to demean them when their bodies were found. He wanted it to be humiliating. He hated women.
One last insult.
Yeah, he just wanted to make it worse. Okay.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Oh, pardon me. So he bound her. So he takes off the duct tape, he puts it in his pocket, and then he goes back upstairs, undresses Sonia, and poses her as well. And then he leaves. So he then goes back to his campsite in the woods where he sat and he remembered the night's events. 8 hours later, he had to kill again. 8 hours. Like, don't you get tired?
Such escalation so quick. It's like he wants to get caught. Like
Yeah.
I feel like he knows that it's over for him, so he might as well get another one in before it's done, right? Being the psychopath, like trying to like think like a crazy like that would be, if you know you love to kill so much and you sing songs about it and you know you're about to get caught because you've been doing it, let's get another one in there, you know?
Well, this is only his second murder, right? There was the family in Shreveport, and then this was the first murder in Florida. So
yeah, I just don't think that he was like, I'm a master criminal, I'm going to get away with this. I think the end game was he's going to get caught. Like, I don't.
Probably, yeah. He was probably aware of it and just sort of waiting for that other shoe to drop kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, 8 hours later, he wants to kill again. A couple of days before, he had seen a woman through her apartment window as he was walking by, and he remembered thinking that she probably lived alone. So he packs his tools and he went to her apartment. He went to her apartment, popped the sliding door with the screwdriver, and he found the apartment was empty. So he decided to close the sliding door and hide in a closet until the woman came home.
Oh, God. Oh, it's scary.
That's so creepy. Oh, my God.
I know, right?
He's switching from invasions to ambush.
Yes, you're right, Tally. Like Richard Ramirez, terrifying.
Okay, so when Krista came home, Danny emerged from the closet, snuck up behind her, and he put her in a chokehold until she agreed to comply, which she did. He then bound her, sexually assaulted her, stabbed her to death, and posed her before leaving. So once he arrived back at the campsite, he realized something was missing. Somehow he had left his wallet behind in her apartment.
Just picture him like, fuck, I'll never be able to get my driver's license again. I got to go back. It takes too long. It's too hard.
Oh, God. Now I've got to cancel all my cards.
Like, his ID is in the wallet. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Every single card has his name on it.
Oh, no. Someone's going to use my credit card. And also my ID is in there.
And can I just say one quick thing? Don't comply. Someone's trying to fuck with you and you're going to die anyway. You might as well fight back.
I don't know about you guys, but I was taught that when I was like 6. If they tell you that if you comply, that they won't hurt you, they're lying. I was taught that when I was like 2 feet tall, man.
I would have to feel out the situation because eventually I'll get away for sure. But by deceiving the deceiver, I'll act all meek and weak and like I don't pump iron every fucking day.
I'm fat. People know better than to try to kidnap fat people who are hard to move around.
Yeah, it's too hard.
I just lay down. No, I'm not moving. Fuck off.
Just fetal position.
Drag me, fucker. Do you even lift?
I mean, you got a point there because anytime I'm watching a serial killer documentary, and this is the fucked up part about older ones too, is they'll sit here and they'll call girls, they'll be like, she was a heavier set girl. And it was like a girl was like $150 and sitting there. And I'm like, see, serial killers ain't taking out the thick ones. All right. Like, this is why I've stayed big my whole life. Ain't nobody dragging my fat ass around if they kill me. All right. That's just perfectly the point right there.
Oh yeah. No one's going to drive past me in a van and be like, I could definitely drag her into my van super easily. No, buddy. You'll be lucky if your suspension holds out. All right.
No, you've already got 4 people in the van. If you put me in there, you're not.
Like a fucking Tokyo subway, like shoving me in there. The doors can't close.
They've got those sticks and just.
I wonder if that's been a killer. I wonder if a killer's gone specifically for big girls. Like, I wonder if that's been a thing. There's got to be one.
Look it up. I should look it
There's
up.
got to be one. Yeah.
Big girls, you are beautiful.
Big girl, you are beautiful. I know that song.
Okay, so he goes back to Krista's apartment and it's quiet. There's no indication that anyone knew what happened. There's no cops, no nothing. He didn't even bother to fucking lock up before he left. So he just goes back into the apartment, takes a peek at her body again. And he's like, you know what? While I'm here, I came all this way. I might as well do some mutilating. So he decides that he's going to cut off her head and reposition the scene. He's not into the pose anymore. All right. His muse has reflourished. So he sits her decapitated body up on the edge of the bed, and it stayed slumped upright somehow. And then he takes her head and puts it on the shelf and purposefully positions it so that her head is looking down on her body.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That literally sounds straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of what Kemper did too? He buried the head of the chick like facing his mom so someone could look up to her or whatever.
Yeah. He in the garden, he would up at the window. Yeah.
Yeah, Kemper was a weird dude too.
He put his mum's head on the shelf for a few days.
Well, he did a lot of things with his mom's head.
So he could throw darts and stuff at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And darts, you mean his little penis? Then yes,
Yeah.
he threw lots of darts into that mouth.
Yeah. Had a hell of a game with it.
Oh yeah.
Bullseye.
I guess
my
that
friend.
would technically qualify because Kemper, like he killed his mom and one of the friends, and they were both heavier set ladies. So
Yeah, but he didn't have to take him
Oh.
anywhere.
That and Kemper's like a monster. He could just pick
Well,
up
yeah.
big girls.
Exactly.
He's
yeah, when
6'9".
you're fucking Hagrid from Harry Potter, it's pretty easy to move around. Like if Andre the Giant was a serial killer.
Oh God,
It'd be too easy. I think it'd be impossible to get a thrill as a serial killer when you're as big as Andre the Giant, because you literally could just like pop their heads.
with one
I mean,
hand.
isn't that like the theory behind Mike Myers though? Like he has like supernatural strength because he does a lot of like eyeball popping, a lot of like we'll say bash kills, like to use a video game term. Like he just uses a lot of environmental objects and he just loves to just
Yeah, but he's on a mission. He's not a thrill killer. He's there because he's got a job to do and he's doing it.
I'm just saying he could get the thrill out of that in like a sick psychopathic way. Not like Kemper, but like, I don't know.
Okay, show me one instance where Michael Myers went back to the scene and jerked off. All right, show me one. He wore a fucking coverall, man. You can't even access your dick. He wasn't there for a good time.
Maybe he's got like a secret compartment that he can open.
I don't know, man. I've seen the movies and there's nothing it's not there. There's the waistband. Okay. It doesn't even have a zipper.
Maybe he was fixing cars in between kills.
He's doing roadside assistance.
Yeah, I went 27 and a half years of my life never thinking of Michael Myers' sex life. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just glad you didn't have to die without thinking about it.
Do you think the music plays in the background while he's doing it too?
That's actually the ideal pace that you should keep up to avoid chafing.
Yes.
So
okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one there. Thank you.
Did you guys know that his mask is just a mask of William Shatner painted white?
Yeah.
yeah.
And the eyes cut out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's creepy. Like wow.
$2. That's what they spent on it. Now it's iconic.
Love it.
Okay, so Danny managed to keep it together for 2 days this time, but he couldn't resist the urge any longer. His campsite happened to be near the final victim's apartment, and so he said that he had no idea who would be inside the apartment unit that he had chosen. He just picked one at random, broke in, and he first comes to Manny, sleeping in his room. So Manny's a former football player, okay? He's a big fucking dude, great physical shape. Didn't matter, didn't deter Danny at all. He just walked right up to the bed where he's sleeping and just starts stabbing him. But the stabs were senseless. He didn't have any purpose. He wasn't like aiming or anything, but his stabs happened to be very well placed, and Manny had seconds to fight back before he was done. So Tracy, who was in the shower, came out, heard what was going on, walks over to Manny's room, because that is definitely the direction you should be walking towards and not away from.
Always.
Like a horror movie.
Yeah. And even more like a horror movie, she sees Danny straddling him, stabbing him over and over and over and over. And Tracy runs to her bedroom, slams the door, and leans against it to hold it shut. And so Danny spends like another minute or so stabbing Manny. He doesn't even go after her right away. Okay. He just keeps going. She stands there.
Task oriented, like one thing at a time before you move on.
I don't know. It's like he knew. It's like he knew she wouldn't try to leave or anything. He knew that she'd just like go and lock herself in a room because, I don't know. I guess no one was prepared to be murdered in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty clear at this point. Yeah, I mean, with the sleeping and the unlocked doors and the fact that this guy literally played lottery serial killer. Like he's just like, yeah, I'm just fuck it. I'm just gonna walk into, you know what, 2B sounds like a good apartment. Let's just go for a little stab session. Let's go hang out here for a little bit, just like at random. So yeah, at this point, I'd say if I'm this guy, my confidence is pretty up that I can just get away with shit.
So it would seem.
Yeah.
He finishes up with Manny, and then he goes to the bedroom where Tracy is trapped inside, and he kicks the door in pretty easily. So according to Danny, he walks in the room, and Tracy says to him, "Are you the one?" And he says, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm the one. I'm the guy."
Oh.
Baby, I'm the one. Justin Bieber just jumps in, starts singing.
So Tracy doesn't even need the runaround this time. She didn't sleep through the commotion. She literally physically saw this happening. So he pretty much just had to hold up the duct tape, and she was like, "Okay." So she agrees to be bound, and her last moments mirrored those of Julie, Christine, and Krista. Exactly.
She's posed.
Well, and this is 90s self-defense culture too. So yeah, pretty much. I mean, what they told everybody was just, just give up.
Yeah, the best defense is a good surrender.
Yeah, this guy just does not care for a good chase.
It sounds like she was into it.
You would say that, you.
She's just like, oh, no, don't.
Oh God, please, whatever you do, stop. Please, God, no.
Yeah.
Here, no, tighter on the duct tape, tighter. Okay, God, no, stop.
No, rip it off. Oh yeah. Put more on.
Yeah, man.
No, put some on my back.
Imagine ruining the fantasy for the serial killer. Just be like, yeah, stab me good. Oh yeah, one more. Yeah, he'd be fuck you, leave.
Yeah.
No, you have me tied up and everything. Just kill me.
I'm still alive. Stab me more.
Penetrate me with your knife.
We did this episode, all right?
Yeah.
Sharing the podcast.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, fucking the Gainesville Ripper goes into fucking Cheryl LaPaga's apartment.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
You'd be cleaning up the wetness with a mop. She'd be just soaked.
Oh.
Fuck. Well, you know what? He does clean the bodies after, so.
On your way out, you can take some of my used panties.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll read your fortune.
$49.99 if on the table before you kill me. Please.
$100.
Yeah.
$100.
Everything's $100. That's right. Everything's $100.
Everything's $100.
This is 2021. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
Oh, could you imagine? Fuck. No, thank you. Hard pass.
Blech.
Old tobacco hair.
Oh God.
Okay, so while Danny was awaiting trial, he told the police that Ed Humphrey had nothing to do with the murders. So due to Danny's confession and the complete lack of evidence that Ed was involved, Ed is finally released after spending 10 months in custody. First in jail and then in a psychiatric facility among some of the most dangerous offenders in Florida.
Holy fuck.
But
Poor Ed.
since being released, he has gotten married. He did have a daughter. And during a very brief interaction with a journalist in 2020, Ed said that he was very happy.
Thank.
Oh, good.
This is a happy Halloween so far,
Yeah, so there's your treat.
He could have got a trick.
Exactly. So Danny Rollins was sentenced to death in April of 1994. 2 years later, screenwriter Kevin Williamson's story based on Danny Rollins' heinous acts was released into the world. Scream earned $170 million worldwide. 4 sequel films and a TV series followed, and a 5th film is currently in production.
Okay, can I tell you something about Danny Rollins that I know if we're gonna skip over it real quick because I have to say it. He sang his last words were a song.
I'm not done yet.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
You can cut
Shortly
me off.
before he was set to be executed, Danny Rollins confessed in writing to the Grissom murders in Shreveport. Danny Rollins was executed via lethal injection, and during his final moments, he hummed a religious hymn and offered no final words about the murders or apologies to the victims' families.
With him.
I didn't
What
put it
was
in
that?
here, but I did read it. There was a bunch of like quotes of lines he sang. You can look it up.
Okay.
But didn't he sing for like 2 minutes? Like it was a
Yeah,
extended,
he did.
and there was like 50
Yes.
people in the audience watching this, going like,
You're just
like,
blowing all aspects of my wad right now.
I'm sorry. I just know that. I thought you said he got executed. I was like, she's not going to talk about how he sang. That's amazing.
I wanted to talk about Ed
Classic
first.
man,
Okay,
always
sorry,
blowing
sorry.
the load early.
I always blow wads.
47 people watched as he took his last breath at 6:13 p.m. on October 25th, 2006, 15 years ago tomorrow, as of the date we're recording this episode.
Oh, wow.
That's the story. Happy Halloween.
Ooh.
Fuck that guy.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Head on over to our Facebook and Instagram to join in on the conversations about all things unethical. Just search Unethical Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can get access to all of our super awesome content, uncut videos of our discussions, and early release of all the episodes. We are adding fun stuff all the time, so you should definitely come and check it out. Thanks again, we appreciate all of you.
I am a flamer. Like, you should see how many dicks I suck. I put them all in my mouth.